Welcome to this practice. So we're working through a little flow practice and then into some restorative poses at the end. So something nice and juicy and relaxing then at the end. And working around this theme of accepting what is. So a lot of us, most of us, are probably currently in situations that we need to accept a little more due to the current situation that we're in. And there's a lot of challenges, a lot of struggle, a lot of the unknown and uncertainty involved in that. So while sitting with that and processing it, we're learning to accept what is and then go out into the world and bring to it what we can and control, of course, what we can control. So accepting what we can't control currently. And it is a tough one, especially when a lot of the conversations seem to be going round and round in circles. So, yeah, this practice is a little about just accepting and, coming to center. So you can start with the eyes closed. Just come to your comfortable seat, setting up with the spine long, noticing your breath, straight away. Simply coming to your breath helps you center. If you can't sense the breath, then exaggerate your breath a little until you can really touch base with it. And once you connect to the breath, then you can just let it become natural and effortless again. Let the shoulders soften a little more, down away from the ears. Face is soft, relaxing all the muscles in the face. Bring your hands to heart center, pressing your palms lightly together, fingers to touch the opposite, making that connection, the two sides of the body. We'll begin with an Om. Take a nice deep breath in. Let the hands then rest on your knees. Open your palms up toward the ceiling. We're going to move into a pranayama breath. So it's a hamsa breath. And this helps to balance the energy channels in the body. So Ida and Pingala that run up and down the spine and therefore really activate the central energy channel, Sushumna. So you can keep your eyes closed. And we'll set up to work with this breath together. It's a mantra breath. This keeps the mind focused. And the breath can simply move evenly and help to balance out the energy channels in the body. So let's take a breath in. And a breath out. Soften the shoulders. Let's do that once more. Breathe in. And breathe out, let go a little more. And then we're inhaling hum. Exhaling sa. Inhale hum. Exhale sa. Inhale hum. Exhale sa. Hum, keeping the spine long. Sa. Hum. Sa. For the last few rounds, you'll continue mantra in your mind, so I won't say it anymore. But keep repeating the mantra to help the mind to focus on a single point and the breath to move rhythmically, helping to balance body and mind. If you lose the mantra, bring the focus back to hum on inhale, sa on exhale. 3 more breaths. Complete your breaths, you can let go of the mantra. Come to the natural breath and just notice how you feel. Open up the eyes. And let's come to stand at the top of our mat, so you can just pop off any props off to the side. Excuse me. And standing at the top of your mat in Tadasana mountain pose. So as you set your feet up, they might be hip distance like mine. You want to check in, make sure that they're parallel, arms coming alongside the body. Shoulders soften. Grounding down into your feet, lift and spread the toes to make that connection a little more. And then lengthen through the side waist. Keep that length coming through the spine, right out through the crown of the head. Be in the body, notice the breath. Reach your arms up, inhale. Clasp the hands together, exhale, and press your palms toward the ceiling. Keep the shoulders softening down away from the ears, palms pressing. Breathe here. Start to notice the spaciousness created in the body, in the chest, feeling it through the ribs. Also be aware of any areas that feel a little stuck, more constricted. And can you send your breath there? allowing those spaces to soften a little. Take another breath. You can release the arms now, so release that clasp, release the arms down beside you, and just give the hands a bit of a shake or make some circles because it can feel a little bit strong on the wrists. From here we're going to come and step to the center of our mat, so we're facing along the long edge. And we're going to step our feet wide for Padottanasana. So you're going to step your feet so that they're about just over a leg's distance apart actually, so a little bit wider. And then we're starting with the hands on the hips. Here, lengthen the spine, fill up the chest. And when you exhale, begin to hinge forward. And when you get to that halfway point, take your fingertips to the floor or the mat, underneath your shoulders. We'll come to a juicy little back bend, and you're going to inhale, lift the heart and look forward. And when you exhale, you can fold into your pose, Padottanasana. I forgot to mention, just make sure your feet are parallel. So if you have a quick look at your feet, adjust them so you've got more of a little pigeon toe with the big toes. Your variation of this pose might look a little bit like mine, with the hands staying underneath the shoulders, or you might find you can walk your hands right back in between your feet and start to bend your elbows. Once you've sat up and you've found your sweet spot here, let's just let the head release toward the mat. The neck, the whole spine is long. Notice, are you with your breathing? Keep breathing, allow the tail to lengthen a little more. One more breath holding. Start to lift the torso again, fingertips will come back out underneath your shoulders, and you're going to center your right fingertips so that they're underneath your face here. Coming into a twist, so as you inhale, reach your left arm out to the side, so either to shoulder height or you might reach up toward the ceiling. And then exhale to release. Inhale to reach the right arm up, moving into the twist, feeling that into the spine. Exhale, release. One more on each side. We're going to hold this time. So inhale as you reach and move into your twist and breathe. Another breath. Releasing. Squeezing out through outer ankles. Inhale to reach up, changing sides. Keep lifting the kneecaps. Being mindful not to lock the knees, so a little bend if you need. Take another breath in the twist. And release. To come out, you're going to bend your knees a little. Take your hands onto your hips. Come up with a nice long spine as you inhale. And exhale. Wriggle the feet in, so heel toe or toe heel. The feet in. We're going to move into Utkatasana chair pose. So setting up again with the feet at about hip distance. Little bend in the knees. I like to reach back first. So we're going to pretend we're coming down a ski jump. Inhale, sweep the arms through and reach them up. Exhale, sit your hips back. Reach them back as if you're sitting straight down into an imaginary chair. Zipper up, so from the pubic bone all the way through up to the sternum, we're long. Breathing here. Reach around behind, intensifying the pose a little. Clasp the hands and draw the hands down past tailbone. So we're going to open up a little more into the chest, feeling that Stretching across the chest, the belly, opening your shoulders. Another breath. And release. Straighten your legs to release. Release the clasp. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, melt hands to heart center. Center your breath. Close the eyes if you like. And then step back to the top of the mat. Tadasana mountain pose to set up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, we're going to step to plank pose. So bend the knees, plant the hands. Step back 1 foot at a time. Find your shape here. Shoulders shifting over the wrists. Lengthen through the back of the neck. We're going to come into a little push up or press up, so you'll come to the knees. Elbows bend alongside the ribs. The chest comes toward the mat. And we press back up. Toes are tucked, lift through, downward facing dog, first down dog. So you may like to walk the legs a little. Ground into the hands, spreading the fingers, broadening the shoulders. Just notice into this shape. Reaching the hips up and back toward the wall behind. Find your stillness and take a breath. Lift the heels high, bend your knees, walk or jump, not an option for me. Waddle to the top, inhale, half lift, spine long, exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reaching wide and up. Exhale, hands melt through to heart center. Take a breath. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold yourself forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale again, we're coming to plank pose. Stepping back, set up. Notice the strength in the body. Heart moves forward, heels move or press back. Gently come to the knees. Elbows bend, chest toward the mat, and press up. Toes tucked, reaching back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths. This pose is resting the heart while at the same time toning the whole body. And we're going to move into a lunge now, so you can reach your right leg up and back. Look to the top of the mat. We're going to step that right foot through. Ground down before we come up, so press down, hug the thighs. Reach up, we'll come through crescent lunge, arms reaching. Settle on into the legs as you exhale. Press through that back heel and keep the hips leveled to the top of the mat. Breathe here. Find your steadiness, stillness within the pose. One more breath. We're going to open out into Warrior 2. So you can now just lower the hands onto the hips to set up. Drop that back heel. Keeping the deep bend in the front knee, now reach your arms out wide from your shoulders. You can have a quick check on the back arm, gazing to the front knee, making sure it's not rolling in. Breathe here. Warrior Virabhadrasana 2, tuning into our stamina, stillness. Flow into reverse. Left hand slides down left thigh, right arm reaching up and over. Press down into your feet to come back out to warrior two. We're going to be moving into half moon Ardha Chandrasana. So did forget to mention to grab your block. So you might not work with the block, and that's fine, but if you would like to work with the block, grab yours or whatever you're using in the shape of a block and place it at that top foot. That's going to give us, we don't have to reach so far toward the floor. Okay, so to set up for Ardha Chandrasana half moon, we're going to come out of that front bend in the knee a little, have our back hand on our hip, maybe wriggle the back foot in. So as you're reaching towards your block or to the floor, we want to simultaneously step off our back foot. We're peeling ourselves open to the side, and we might be able to reach the top arm up toward the ceiling. Flex your back toes. Breathe here. Reaching out, opening out in all directions. Being with what is, however your pose looks. Accepting where you are right now. One more breath. To come out, we're going to bring the hand down. We're going to move through a plank pose to come out. Shift your block if you need to. Step the feet back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Reach the hips. Downward facing dog. Gently come onto the knees. Sit yourself back. Child's pose. So we'll take 2 breaths here. Little rest in between. Allowing everything that we've worked through so far to integrate into the body. Allowing for this space between. Okay, we're moving back into down dog, and we're going to work that little sequence to the second side, so you can already have your block over on the other side now if you'd like. Ready to go. Come back to down dog. Reach left leg. Look to the top, step through to the top of the mat, moving through to crescent lunge to start. Hug the thighs, press into the feet, bring yourself up when you're ready. Feel into the length in the spine, and then really ground into the legs. Keep hugging the thighs in toward each other. Even weight through the feet. Breathe. Feeling the length through the front body. Beautiful. From here, drop the back heel, warrior Virabhadrasana 2. Really anchor that back foot by pressing through the outer edge, bend the front knee, arms reach wide. Keep a little softness in the shoulders and the wrists, while at the same time reaching out and energizing out through your fingertips. Take another breath. Reverse. Peaceful warrior, sliding that right hand down, left arm reaching up and over. Open up wide. Warrior 2. Moving into your balance, Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So again, take your time to set up. Come up high onto those back toes if you need. And we're reaching to the block or to the top of the mat. Pressing down into the fingertips or the palm of that bottom hand. Flex those back toes. Maybe you'll reach up. Just remember, for more stability, looking down is more stable, hand on the back hip is more stable. Be in the body. Notice the challenge of the pose. One more breath. Okay, again we're going to come through a plank pose on the way out, stepping back, finding plank. Moving through into your back bend. I'm going to stick with this little press up because I can't come onto my belly, but you might choose cobra or upward dog. And then when you're ready, we're going to take another rest again, so we'll find child's pose just for a few breaths. When you come into your child's pose, let the forehead rest, let the shoulders drop forward. Breath smooths out. From here, bring yourself onto hands and knees. We're going to come into a side plank. So from here, tuck the toes, shift the weight forward, maybe lifting into high plank. Come over onto the blade of the left foot. You might be stacking your right foot if that's available for you. For me, I'm going to make this little kickstand. It's going to support me a little more. And reach the top arm up. Breathe here. One more breath. Releasing. Come back to hands and knees. Again, shift into plank, high or low, so you can always be on the back knee here as well. In a lower variation, in your own timing, maybe using this little kickstand like I am, giving yourself more support. Breathe. And release. Hands and knees. From here, you're going to cross your legs behind you. So cross the legs behind, and we're going to walk our hands back until we can sit down behind our feet. Good. And then release and stretch your legs out in front of you. Beautiful. I'm just going to grab a blanket. I forgot to grab one to sit up onto for these seated poses, just to give my hips a little more lift. So you might like to do that also, to grab a folded blanket. So perhaps a 3-fold is a nice height. You could also use your bolster or a cushion. If you're at home, you might just have your favorite cushion there, ready to go. All right. From here, coming to your seat. If you are sitting up onto something, make sure it's almost like you're sliding off the front, and hips will already have that tilt forward. And we're going to be starting in Dandasana, rod pose. So, if your palms reach the floor, press into the palms. Because I've lifted myself, I'm going to use my fingertips and press into my fingertips so that energy is still coming through the arms. Then we're going to draw our toes back here. So strong, steady, rod pose. Tune into this strength and groundedness. You can close your eyes if you like. Just notice how everything here is switched on in the body. Toes are drawn back, energy drawing up all the way up through the legs, pressing into the palms or fingertips, spine long. Stillness in the body, creating space for a little more stillness and clarity to come into the mind. Perhaps allowing yourself to drop away some of those thoughts or conversations or news reports. Let that drop away a little. Sit in the background for the moment and be in your body. Take another breath. Okay. We're going to come forward now, Paschimottanasana. So for me, with my bump getting just bigger and bigger by the day, you might have your feet right together, and if you know the pose, you'll do the version that works for you. I'm going to work like this with the feet a lot wider, with my knees a little soft, my feet a little soft. Take an inhale, find length in the spine, so let's just reach up to lengthen. And exhale, come forward. Let your hands rest wherever is comfortable for you. You might be reaching to your toes, you might have your hands just resting on or beside the legs, dropping the chin toward the chest. Focus draws inward in this pose. Allowing ourselves to become and return to the present. Creating an energy that is magnetic, that is truthful, an energy that is nourishing and kind. Keep breathing here. You might notice you soften a little deeper as you stay, as some of that tension softens and melts out of the body. Two more breaths here. To come out, simply roll yourself back up. We're going to move into a counter pose. So this upward tabletop, maybe it's just called tabletop, I can't remember. Bend the knees, bring the feet so that they're about hip distance, and you're going to take your hands behind in this pose. Now, be mindful of your wrists, so making a fist will be more gentle than coming down onto the palms. And it may be enough for you to stay right here. You're going to press into the hands, press into the feet, keep the heart lifted. And you can stay right there, or you might lift up and make yourself into this little table. Now to start with, look along the belly and roll your thighs in toward each other. Keep pressing evenly into the feet. If it's particularly comfortable for you and you don't lose the pose, then you might go ahead and drop the head back. Breathing. Keep rolling the thighs in. Take another breath. When you are coming out, just make sure you bring your chin to the chest first. If you took the head back, lower down, roll out. Come to sit comfortably so that you can release your wrists by just giving them a little shake. Make a few circles. Maybe do a few of these. From here, soles of the feet come together. Baddha Konasana, if it's comfortable for you, you might bring your feet in as close as you can to the groin. We'll start with the fingertips behind, finding some length. You might hold right where you are. Forward so you can clasp your hands underneath your feet, or for me at the moment I think just grabbing to the ankles is enough, dropping chin to the chest, maybe bending the elbows out wide. nourishing into the reproductive system here. Bringing circulation, bringing nourishment, bringing love into the space of the body. Connected to the chakra, Muladhara, base chakra. Take another breath. And bring yourself out. We're going to move onto hands and knees. So if you did use a prop, you can just again pop that off to the side. Hands and knees. Let's make some figure eight patterns just to loosen everything up again in the body. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Tracing out the number 8 with the hips and the shoulders. Noticing into the body. Noticing how the body feels at this point in the class. Circle or trace that out in the opposite direction. Great. Okay, we're going to come into a restorative downward facing dog. So grab your bolster, or if you have a big cushion or a rolled up blanket at home, and maybe your block as well, and you can have that then at any height. You're going to set up with your hands either side of your bolster, find your down dog, and then you may need to adjust things a little. I need to scooch mine in a bit, and you might need to adjust your support so that you can rest and lean your forehead into your support here. Down dog, supported variation. Keep the energy switched on in the body, grounding into the hands, reaching sit bones up and back, but then lean in to your support here. So lean into the forehead. And let yourself have 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Gently come out. You come back onto the knees. Just shift your props off to the side, and you're going to set up for Shavasana now, and I'll talk you through it. So as you're ready, start to grab what you need. Make sure you're going to be warm enough and comfortable enough. So grabbing perhaps your bolster, a blanket, your socks, whatever you need. Start to settle in as you come down onto your mat. And really check in with the body so that you find that you're balanced as you set up, so that you find you've laid out nice and evenly. Neck is long, spine long, hips heavy. And take a moment to really lean into the back of the body and let yourself feel supported. Back of the skull, the shoulders, back of the heart, hips, heels, hands. Let yourself come into your natural, effortless breath. And I'll just read you a few words from the Radiance Sutras. As you settle in, be conscious of this unconscious prayer, your breath. For she is the most holy place of pilgrimage. She wishes for you to enter this temple where each breath is an adoration of the infinite for the incarnate form. Relax all the muscles of your face. Please let yourself just stay right where you are, deep in your Shavasana, for as long as you need. Or perhaps, if you're ready, you can come and sit up with me. We're going to place our hands together again in front of heart center. And complete the practice with an Om. Take a breath in. Om Shanti. Peace. Namaste.